And this is the global forecast for November 2016. Let's get the basics out of the way first of all, folks. There's a new moon in Sagittarius on the 29th of November, and that's going to be squaring Neptune by about 1.5 degrees. That's quite important, but I think it falls outside the range of the bigger picture, and I think that's something completely separate to what else is going on. So I will look at that new moon a lot closer, a lot nearer the time. The full moon that's taking place about 2 weeks before that, around about the 15th, 16th, is towards the end of Taurus, and that's not that significant apart, of course, from various Taurians. There's no eclipses. Mercury starts the month in Scorpio and then moves into Sagittarius on the 12th. Venus leaves Sagittarius on the 12th and moves into Capricorn. Neither of these are particularly significant, in my opinion. Mars is. Mars leaves Capricorn on the 9th of November, early in the morning, UK time, and then moves into Aquarius. Now, the aspects it makes are not that significant, but it's certainly going to be noticeable by quite a lot of Aquarians and Leos for that matter. But Mars is not going to be aspecting any of the outer planets in any significant shape or form. So this is only going to affect individuals. So it's not really the day-by-day planets that I'm looking at here. I'm also not really focusing that much on Neptune, even though Neptune is standing still this month and starting to move forward again, which is nice. It's bringing an end to a lot of the confusion that's been plaguing quite a few people over this last year. And many people are going to find that the more they get into December and January, the more the cloud and fog turns into mist and then fine mist and then dissolves. I'm not really looking at Uranus. Uranus is slowing right down, it's going retrograde in Aries. It'll stand still next month. Fine, no big deal. I'm not even looking at Saturn. Saturn is hitting a lot of people this month. It's transiting between 13 and 16 degrees of Sagittarius. So a lot of the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgos, Pisces, Sagittarians, especially those born between about the 5th and the 9th of their respective month, yeah, you're getting hit. But again, this is individual. But now we come to the big one. Firstly, there's an election in America on November the 8th. There's a void moon much of the day on the 8th, UK time. It ends, I forget the actual time, folks, but it ends about, 8 o'clock at night in the on the East Coast. So it's not going to affect the outcome. But I'm not quite sure. In the UK, because we live in one time zone, it's pretty clear to find the horoscope of the election because it's always going to be the moment that the polls close. But because America is spread over at least 4, if not 5 or 6 time zones, if you take into effect Western Alaska and Hawaii, it's difficult to say when the actual horoscope for the election should be called. I imagine it would be at the time the polls close in Washington, D.C., which is normally about, if I'm right, and please correct me if I'm not, 10 p.m. But I've looked at this. I've looked at Trump's chart. I've looked at Clinton's chart. And I know in the past I've said that if Trump becomes president, he won't do a full term. I'm now extending that to Clinton. And I will do a number of chart readings on this over the coming week, on both of them and the American election in the first week of November, before it goes to vote. But later this month, between the 20th of November and the 28th of November, Jupiter in the sky is squaring Pluto. And for everybody who's been affected by Pluto over the last 2 years, that is, everyone born from about the 3rd, 4th through to about the 8th of July, January, April, October, Anyone who's been hit by Pluto in the last couple of years and experienced an element of crises and trauma, intensity and extremes, obsessive and compulsive behaviour, either towards them or from others, Jupiter's going to square Pluto in the last 10 days of November, and a lot of ghosts are going to come out of the cupboard. A lot of things are suddenly going to get very overheated, larger than life, over the top. Mountains made out of molehills, storm in a teacup, crises made out of drama. How many more analogies can I use? There's not going to be moderation. Because at the time that Jupiter is squaring Pluto, Jupiter will also be on top of the USA Saturn, and Pluto will be squaring the USA Saturn. I suspect that this is going to result in some type of bureaucratic lockdown, something stuck, something not moving, and things are going to get a little bit difficult. I'll be glad if it's only a little bit. I suspect that things are going to go a little bit crazy in America towards the end of November. Hopefully it will all be resolved within the space of a week. But I do get the impression that the election result will probably be challenged no matter which way it goes. And there's likely to be some contretemps, and it's going to get a bit out of hand. It should all settle down by the start of December. Fingers crossed. So, if the planet were my client and all the inhabitants just one being, I would be saying to them, as far as November 2016 goes, planet Earth, have a quiet, stable, centred and focused month, and don't let things get out of control. But with Jupiter coming to square Pluto, fat chance. See you on the other side. See you in December. Bye.